These are some major issues with Erika Kirk. Now, a lot of people will seem to think that I'm picking on Erika Kirk because of her handling of her husband's passing away, which I think is very weird. And it's just the coincidences that are going along with how her husband passed away and how she's behaving. Now, people say people deal with trauma certain ways, which again, there are certain ways you can deal with it, but when watching your husband pass away the way he did, and then you turn around and throw a, concert of a memorial for your husband with pyrotechnics and, all these celebrity guests, that was just a bit much. And the whole it just looked like a wrestling event or a Comic-Con event that was introducing a new movie. That's what it felt like. But let's put that on the back burner for a bit. I want to address the way she forgave the shooter, Tyler Robinson. Now, the way she forgave him, I thought was all off. Listen, you have to deal with an array of emotions when someone passes away in that manner, whether they were assassinated, or suicide, or a bad accident that was unexpected. Those things, your brain, your body, your heart takes time to deal with. And you have to cope with so many different things when that happens. To get on stage in your Sunday's best, by the way, wearing designer clothes at your husband's memorial, most people will go through their closet and pull out some old shit. That looked brand new. And again, it was designer made. It wasn't like a simple black dress or simple white. It was a pantsuit at that. So that was red flaggy when she walked out on stage for me. But when she got on the stage and she gave a little spiel, and then she talked about how she was going to forgive Charlie Kirk's shooter, when she stated, "I forgive you," the pause at the end was when I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, fuck this thing. Because it was like, she goes, "Young man, I forgive you." And then the pause. Wait for the applause. Wait. That's what actresses do. They wait for applause. When they're doing a show or a play, especially a show or a TV show, like back in the days, they would make a joke and they would pause, wait for the applause, and the applause would come. That's what she did. It was so subtle, but when I caught it the first time, I was like, she's full of shit. Like at first when she gave that speech on camera, I think a day or two after 3 days after Charlie Kirk was killed, she gave that speech. I was like, all right, she's all in. But when I was looking at that speech, I was like, there was something that was bothering me. But I'm like, maybe it's just me and my bullshit. But then when she did that, Comic-Con for her husband, I was like, and she said, "I forget." I was like, bullshit. Again, people will handle their traumas differently. I understand that. But there's certain traumas that the brain can't comprehend. And most people cannot comprehend a loved one dying in that manner. Now, if Charlie Kirk had cancer or something like that and he passed away, you're getting ready for it. You're planning it out. You guys are talking it out. There's a lot of things that are going in motion when someone is dying slowly like that, for whatever ailment it might be. But watching your husband catch it in the neck, bleed out, and die in that manner will affect anyone. There are people who don't even know him that well that are still talking about it, and when they see it or they think about it, they get a little emotional, like, that sucks that he died that way, like that way, and that people had to watch it. But she's getting on stage, throwing up the "I love you" sign, which, guys, this is "I love you." It's all it is. It's not the horn. It's not. This would be the horn. She's doing "I love you." This is the L, and this is Y. I love you. Anyway, don't want to get into that. But she throws it up like a rock star. I was like, that was the way she... Listen, guys, I follow and track people very closely. My one forte is figuring people out. And I am right 99% of the times. There's that 1% where I get it wrong. But 99% of the times, I am right. And when I see certain things and I start piling them together, I'm like, yeah, this isn't looking good. your percentage starts going up, right? Everybody starts like midway with me. And then your percentage goes up when you start doing shady shit or things that don't make sense. Or you're sitting on a podcast show laughing and talking about other shit other than what happened to your husband. Now, Turning Point USA, that's another video that I'm going to talk about because they, as a whole, are acting shady. They are, again, not doing the right things and asking the right questions. And that is bothering a lot of people now because we're all looking at it going, yo, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if I got assassinated, you people better be raising questions. You better be like, what happened to the Angry Prepper? Why did he, ask all the questions. Ask the right ones. Don't start making excuses or not talking about it at all, like Turning Point USA is doing now, and Erika Kirk is doing. She didn't ask any of those questions. Now, a lot of people, guys, have said that because she's a Christian and that you don't read the Bible, they're talking about me, that you don't understand what forgiveness means and this is how you move forward. No, you do not move forward and you do not forgive somebody inside of 11 days after your husband catches it. It's just impossible. Again, there are too many feelings, and your body goes on an array of emotions when this happens. There's ups and downs. I mean, the roller coaster ride's insane. The pain that you feel is incredibly crushing. I went through something recently, and it is never, ever going to change for me. What I'm going through now is forever. And I know the steps of what the person's going to go through. I've been through losing people one too many times, and her forgiving him because she's a Christian. The human nature dictates above anything else. And being angry is what she should be, or I would have been at least for a while. And they listen, you don't have to be outwardly angry. You don't have to start breaking shit and carrying on and cursing at the screen. But you are angry inside. And then to turn around and get on stage, because it was almost like, guys, she did the whole forgiveness speech to get accolades from you Christians out there. That's what it felt like. It felt like an act. It felt like she was like, how can I score points with the Christian community? I forgive him. And then, everybody was like, oh, and then the crowd went wild. She waited for that pause, and the crowd went wild like a bunch of lemmings or morons or drones or whatever you want to call it. It was the worst forgiveness speech I've ever heard in my life. It was such the setup, and the fact that she had that pause and the crowd went wild, or not wild, but they were like clapping and carrying on like seals and shit. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? 11 days later, there's no way. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way. I'm sorry. It's just the emotions of anger, confusion. There's so many things. Sadness, that crushing pain in your chest. All of these things take over. And to sit there and say, well, I forgive him, bullshit. You got to go through an array of emotions. You got to wait for the shooter to ask for that forgiveness for you to give it. You just don't give it before, and he's not even talking. So we don't know what he's asking for. But she's turning around talking about, I forgive him. It was almost like Shakespeare, but really bad. It was bad. It was a bad forgiveness speech. Now, guys, like I said, people who go through traumas like this, you are on not even a day-to-day, but an hour-by-hour, some cases minute-by-minute, roller coaster ride of emotions. The ups and downs, like I said before, are insane. There is no way you're getting through this in 11 days. And then show up on the Charlie Kirk show laughing, carrying on, and talking about what he wants for Turning Point USA. And that's what they kept talking about, what he wants for Turning Point USA. Not, you know what? That was kind of weird that camera went missing. Who took the camera down and why? How come, he got shot here. Why did they pave over that? Who was that shooter? Why did he run? How come he's not talking? What was that muzzle flash to the right? What about that plane that was leaving from the airport? Like, none of those questions were being asked by her or Turning Point USA. Very, very weird. Now, a lot of people are making excuses for her going back to work, if you will, so soon. And I'm like, you know what? Erika Kirk could take off 12 days or 12 years. She's covered by Turning Point USA. To get back in front of a camera, which, she did here and there with him, not all the time, and then she decided that she was going to go on this blitz right after he passed away, was bizarre. She needs to focus on the family, the two kids that are undoubtedly asking where daddy is. Undoubtedly. They're young. So why would your immediate knee-jerk reaction, like, I'm taking over Turning Point USA. It's mine. Like, why would you do that? Be easy, fucko. Give it a few months and then see where you are. But to sit there and do it, what was it, almost 12 days after or 13 days after he passed away, stating that you're going to take it over and then start doing the Charlie Kirk show, it was bizarre. That is a bizarre behavior. And a lot of people feel the same way. It's why there are a few people that were breaking my nuts about it, but there are a lot of people that felt something isn't right in the way she responded to his death days after. It was just bizarre. Not to mention, guys, I forgot about this, the fake tears. There were no tears at that memorial. She kept dabbing her eyes, and there are a lot of breakdown videos out there. There were no tears. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you're crying over a loved one, your body's going to conjure up those tears. Unless you're dehydrated, which I doubt she was, you are conjuring up, you're going to be like streaming down your face. She had heavy makeup on. For somebody who, listen, most women who know they're going to cry, especially at a memorial or a funeral, they're not going to put that much makeup on. This bitch had on, the Tammy, makeup kit on her face. All right, so what is it, Tammy Faye Baker? She had that fucking makeup on her face. I was like, who does that? If you know you're going to cry, why would you put that much makeup on? And I don't want to hear the waterproof bullshit. She had a lot of makeup on. She had a lot of jewelry on. She had a custom-made outfit, like I mentioned before. Yo, that is not something you're doing for memorial. I'm sorry. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.